Hello everyone, Celia would like to introduce you to Mark Milley, who prefers to be known as Willie V. Tewksbury. Willie is a strong candidate for the Thick as Two Short Planks award, although to be fair, that would be very disrespectful to short planks. Hello, said Mr. Short Plank. Hi, said Celia. How are you doing, he asked. I'm very well, thanks, she said. I'm just taking my lunch break at work. How are you doing? Glad you're doing well, he said. What are you having for lunch? I'm doing great, and fine, as well. I just stopped again for a quick cup of tea, she said. Do I know you? I don't think so. I was browsing and come across your profile. I decided to send you a friend request. What's your profession? I'm an administrator in the admissions department of Durham University, she said. What do you do? Notice that in probably 10 words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that in 10 words, she managed to tell him what she does. Note that for later. I am working as a freelance contractor. And by profession, I'm an architectural engineer, he said. How long have you been working as an administrator in the admissions department? I've been there for 20 years, she said. That doesn't tell me what you actually do as an architectural engineer. Are you running your own business? And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how long it takes Mr. Brains, or lack thereof, to tell her what he's actually doing. I'm working as a rig supervisor with an oil drilling company, he said, and then tacked on the job description for something completely different, because obviously it takes a certain amount of understanding and brains to understand what you're copying and pasting. Clearly this scammer is lacking in the brains department. To say that he's the usual one brain cell would probably be disrespectful to brain cells. I'm working as a rig supervisor with an oil drilling company, and talking about my area of profession, I design and supervise the construction of roads, buildings, airports, tunnels, dams, bridges, and water supply and sewage systems, because obviously if you're a supervisor on an oil rig, you have nothing else to do all day, so you've got time to do all those as well. I don't understand any of that, said Celia. What does a rig supervisor do? I design and supervise the construction of roads, buildings, airports, tunnels, dams, bridges, and water supply and sewage system. So you aren't a rig supervisor, said Celia. Why would a rig supervisor be designing an airport? Why don't you tell me what you're working on currently? Yes, I serve in one of the oil company as a supervisor for 4 years. That is where I resigned to become a rig supervisor. I had my first contract here at the state with ExxonMobil, he's now working for a mobile phone company, in the year 2002. So you are designing an airport for a rig, said Celia, along with a tunnel and a dam, also for a rig, along with the bridge to reach it, and its own water and sewage system. I guess you're not reading my messages, he said. Where are you from? I am reading your messages, said Celia. You told me that you do all these things as a rig supervisor. She copied and pasted the bit where she'd said, what does a rig supervisor do? And he'd said, I design and supervise the construction of roads, buildings, airports, etc. I guess it's you that isn't reading your own messages, said Celia, to which our man replied, oh, okay. So, said Celia, you are designing an airport for the rig, along with a tunnel to reach it, a dam to supply it with water, and its own sewage system, oh, and road and bridge for it. Where is this magic rig that has its own road and bridge, along with its own airport? LOL, he said. Why don't you tell me what you're really doing? She asked. You're so funny, he said. I'm an architectural engineer. Yes, replied Celia. We established that. What do you do? You, personally, as an architectural engineer. What are you working on right now? Architectural engineers, Google informed him, apply practical and theoretical knowledge to the engineering design of buildings and building systems. The goal is to engineer high-performance buildings that are sustainable, resilient, economically viable, that ensure the safety, health, comfort and productivity of occupants. No, replied Celia. I asked what you, as in you personally, are working on right now. Not for a copy and paste definition of what an architectural engineer does. What are you, the real live person that is you, working on? To which our poor, confused scammer replied, What are you trying to say? You're getting me confused right now. Did anyone get you upset before talking to me? No, mate, you managed to do it yourself. I really don't know what to say right now. Oh dear, said Celia. I find it confusing telling people what I do at work too. Let's try and make it simple. When you went to work yesterday, what did you do at work? Did you spend the day designing a road? Or maybe you spent the day designing an airport. Or perhaps you spent the day designing a dam. Possibly you spent the day designing a bridge. Trying to get out of it, our man said, I didn't go to work yesterday. I do work when I have contract, and I'm working on it right now. I've been busy with paperwork all day long, said our man who's been a rig supervisor for 4 years. So when you said, I'm working as a rig supervisor, what you really meant was, I am not working, I don't have a contract right now. Tell me what you were doing on your last contract. You know, the last real contract you had, where you were really going to work, and really had a job. The last contract I had with my crew was in Oslo, Norway, he said. Awesome, replied Celia. And what were you doing there? Designing an airport? Designing a dam? Building a bridge? I presume you can remember what you were doing? Yes, I was working on construction of road, he said. Awesome, at last, said Celia. I guess you really do want to know all about my job, he said. What are you hoping to do next? She asked. No, I don't want to know all about your job. I was simply trying ever so hard to get you to tell me what you were actually doing. I'm working on my next contract right now, he said. Been busy working on, you know what he was working on, guys. Paperwork. What will your next contract be? She asked. Thank you for your kind heart and patience, he replied. What are you hoping your next contract will be? She asked. They haven't approved it, so I really don't know now, he said. And you? But surely you must know what you're applying for, she said. I haven't changed what I do in the last 10 minutes. How can you apply for a contract if you don't know what they're asking you to do? Yes, I do know what I'm applying for, he said. All I care about is the money for the contract. We're looking at $2 million. What time are you going back home? Where are you from? So if you do know what you're applying for, what is it? She asked. I'm on my way home right now. I'm from Durham in the northeast of England. I already told you I work for Durham University. Where do you think I am? Amsterdam. We just meant you really do want to all about my job and my contract. Drive carefully and let me know when you get home. I'm from Quebec, but I do live in Owasso, Oklahoma City. Are you married with kids? I don't want to know all about your job, said Celia. I just asked what you'll be doing. You asked me what I do, and I told you. I'm home now. Glad you're home safely. Are you living alone? He asked. Why do you want to know? Asked Celia. Really? He said. Yes, really, replied Celia. And are you ever going to tell me what you'll be doing on your $2 million contract? Or is this a game where I answer your questions and you refuse to answer mine? No, you know I always answers your questions. I'm so sorry if I get you upset, he said. How long did it take for you to tell me what you're doing now? Replied Celia. And how many times did I have to ask? And how many ridiculous stories did you tell me along the way? So last time, what will you be doing if you get this $2 million contract? I thought I've told you. Road construction, he said. That's what I'm going to do. Are you happy now? Please read what you told me, replied Celia, and tell me where you mentioned road construction for your next contract. OK, he said. So Celia copied and pasted a lot of the conversation, where he'd said all kinds of things, but nothing about road contracts. Show me where in that you mentioned road construction, please, she said. Trying to get out of it. Our man came up with the only answer he could think of. I'm going to get something to eat. Talk to you later, he said. And please don't be rude, replied Celia. Are you happy now? That's plain rude and ignorant, because you know very well you never told me. I hope you choke on your dinner. It seems our man knew when he'd met his match, because he disappeared. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again, probably in a longer video.